a big adventure.
What's going on, officer?
Catch Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
A movie?
Tomorrow at 7, 6 Central, followed by the movie Surfers Go Inside, Remember the Titans, only on Disney.
Wonderful!
Walt Disney presents the Disney Legends. Since 1987, the Walt Disney Studio has been honoring people who've made significant contributions to the Disney legacy.
Well, I want you to meet your hostess. This is Katherine Beaumont. She's the voice of Alice in Wonderland.
Have you ever noticed that the voice of Wendy
Captain Hook, we will never join your crew.
was the same actress as Alice?
Well, I must say, I've never heard it that way before.
What's more, Katherine Beaumont performed those roles on camera in movies never shown to the public.
What would Mother say?
The Beaumont family left their home in England in 1946 when Katherine was signed to an MGM contract.
My first experience with the Walt Disney Studios was when I read for the part for Alice in Wonderland.
Recently discovered is this test recording when Kathy was only 8 years old.
Mr. Disney was looking for a voice that was not too British and still British sounding for American ears. The second part of my performance after the recording was done was making the film. In watching that action, it helped the animator to draw the figures in a more realistic way. I also had to go to school.
What are you studying so hard there, Katherine? Some of Alice's Jabberwocky?
No, worse than that. Algebra. You know, I think they were both invented by the same person.
When Alice was about ready to come out, Disney decided to do a Christmas show.
You mustn't be afraid of people. Goodness, I'm only a girl.
I went directly from finishing Alice and immediately started working on the voice for Wendy.
How do we get to Neverland?
Once again, she provided the live-action reference.
We were required to fly. Now, most children probably thought, oh boy, you know, I get to be up in the air. Well, not me. I was imagining myself being way up there, and I was thinking, uh-oh, it's a long way down.
Kathy became a grade school teacher, leaving acting far behind, until she was rediscovered by Imagineers in 1983. She recorded both Alice and Wendy for the renovation of Fantasyland at Disneyland.
My adventures in Wonderland began when I followed the White Rabbit down the rabbit hole.
She continues to recreate her classic roles whenever needed. In 1998, she was honored as a Disney legend.
Well, it's been nice meeting you. Goodbye.
If you lose a game, they'll fire you. One game, just like that.
Tomorrow, movie Surfers Go Inside, Remember the Titans. The true story of a football coach who brings two cultures together to form one winning team.
I don't care if you like each other or not, but you will respect each other.
Before you see this movie, take a Disney-exclusive sneak peek with the movie Surfers as they chat with Academy Award winner Denzel Washington.
I'm a great coach.
Watch movie Surfers Go Inside, Remember the Titans. Tomorrow at 8:40, 7:40 Central, right after Pee-wee's Big Adventure, only on Disney.
Washing will be done on the floor.
Yet, things weren't as perfect as they seemed.
Walt Disney will return in just a moment. Walt Disney presents the Disney Legends. Since 1987, the Walt Disney Studio has been honoring people who've made significant contributions to the Disney legacy.
This is Johnny Hench, who's in charge of this particular project.
Hi, Johnny.
Oh, you've met before. Well, wonderful. He gets around, you know. He knows all the pretty girls.
Imagine working more than 60 years at one company. Well, in 1939, John Hench started his Disney career in animation. In 1999, John celebrated his 60th anniversary as the Imagineer who supervises the color and design of all Disney theme parks. Trained in fine art and a fan of classical music, John joined Disney hoping to work on Fantasia. Right away, he was solving design problems with his story sketches.
And it seems that I could draw sexy girls, so they figured I could draw sexy fish.
Later, he worked with legendary artist Salvatore Dali on this rare proposed short, Destino.
So we never really finished it, but I did carry it to one test.
I worked from story development into layout, then into background painting. And Cinderella asked me to design a title for the book. So I made a wooden form and covered it with leather and added some artificial jewels.
Then I wanted to go down and see what happened to all this stuff. So I spent 3 years in camera and special effects.
Working on the 20,000 Leagues effects team earned an Academy Award. That same year, Walt asked John to become a project designer to develop Tomorrowland at Disneyland.
The early moon ride, that was the first one that I really worked hard at.
Since then, John helped perfect the art of Disney three-dimensional design.
But we tried to get to the essence of what we're trying to say, a visual statement, very cleanly, without contradictions.
He has designed costumes, attractions like Space Mountain.
The original sketch was on an envelope, really.
Guided many aspects of Disney's projects for the 1964-65 World's Fair and fought the architectural firm who did not want the monorail added to the contemporary hotel.
But they missed the theatrics of the whole thing. I thought the building particularly lacked distinction, and running the monorail through it was the only thing that saved it.
John has also been Mickey's official portrait artist.
Who else has been around for so long who can depict Mickey Mouse through all the years?
John eventually rose to senior executive and was honored as a legend in 1990.
There's no trick to it. You just have to love your work.
His wisdom continues to inspire new generations of Disney Imagineers.
And, Johnny, just be sure it looks as good as the model, huh?
We now return to Walt Disney. Walt Disney will return in just a moment. Walt Disney presents the Disney Legends. Since 1987, the Walt Disney Studio has been honoring people who've made significant contributions to the Disney legacy. Now, meet Herb Ryman, one of Disneyland's founding fathers. This preliminary sketch for the first theme park ever was perhaps the most single valuable piece of art in Disney history. It helped raise the $17 million needed to build Disneyland. Indeed, many such Disney dreams first began taking shape under the brush of artist Herb Ryman. As a young man, Herb was advised no artist can make a living. Nonetheless, he became a highly acclaimed artist and movie illustrator. But it was his modest drawings for Walt Disney in 1953 that helped change the world of outdoor entertainment forever.
He said, just do something that everybody will like.
Born in Vernon, Illinois, Herb's love of art and travel grew out of devastating childhood illnesses. While convalescing in bed, he couldn't even use his eyes.
So I would dream about pictures. For the other boys who were the great athletes, they didn't know how to draw. So this gave me a feeling, well, I can do something they can't do.
Herb started the Disney part of his career by drawing backgrounds and story concepts in 1938. Soon, he became an art director. In 1941, Herb joined Walt's research team to South America, which resulted in several films.
Let's see what you've got there, Herb.
This is a rare glimpse at Herb's concept work for a cartoon that was never completed.
Fire! My house! My family! My goodness!
Herb left Disney in 1946 to pursue other interests.
And then in the year 1953, Walt called me one morning. He said, my brother Roy has to go to New York on Monday morning, and he's got to show the bankers the designs for the park. And he pointed at me and he said, you're going to do them.
Walt sat down with Herb over this weekend. They rolled it up and gave it to Dad. He went to New York and came back with the money.
Of course, I look at that now, I think it's dreadful. But under the conditions, it's remarkable. That's 17 million. It's remarkable.
For the next 35 years, Herb continued turning ideas for Disney parks into visual plans.
You would say to Herb, okay, what is New Orleans Square going to look like? When that's all it is that concept.
While creating concept paintings for Disneyland Paris, Herb passed away in 1989. Today, the Herbert Ryman Foundation keeps alive his positive spirit for young artists.
And as long as we can be humble and curious, we can dream and we can make things happen with our dreams.
Guess who's coming home? The boys are back in their hometown, 98 degrees, with Hoku. See them backstage.
This is where it all goes.
And behind the scenes.
One scoops or two?
I think it's 2 scoops.
I stood up on my first wave, and I was hooked.
We have a little team on 3, okay?
Team! Watch the world television premiere.
I was having way too much fun.
98 Degrees and Hoku in concert. Saturday at 8, 7 Central. Part of Zoo's Weekend.
We now return to Walt Disney. Walt Disney presents The Disney Legends. Since 1987, the Walt Disney Studio has been honoring people who've made significant contributions to the Disney legacy. Now, meet Fred Moore, Master Animator. If you asked who had the greatest impact on Disney animation, Fred Moore could be the answer. Co-worker animator Ollie Johnston said Fred was probably the most natural animator they ever had. It was so easy for him to make an appealing drawing and to make it move. In August 1930, a friend canceled an interview with Walt Disney. Fred kept the appointment instead. He took drawings quickly sketched on old wrapping papers, plus 3 covers he'd drawn for the Junior Times magazine. Walt hired him on the spot 3 weeks before his 19th birthday. His first big success came quickly, animating the 3 Little Pigs. Today, it's hard to appreciate the tremendous impact this one cartoon made on the entire animation industry.
And it was a thing we've been working for a long time. Personality out of the carrying bit. Individual personality.
With his affable manner and instinctive drawing ability, Fred refined many animation principles and established new ones. The results revolutionized the Disney style with stronger staging and more believable emotions.
I think maybe the biggest single contribution was the redesign of Mickey. And Mickey went from that